max area of island. And this is also a very famous problem, I think. Yeah, because this is similarly like the number of islands, but for this time we're just gonna to check the maximum area of island. So for example, the maximum area is 6. Let's try to find the 6. So this island, the maximum area is 6 because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we're gonna return a 6. So if there's no island, so we're gonna return a 0. Yeah, and this is exactly the same like when we are trying to solve the number of islands problem, because I'm going to use a DFS. So for example, while using the DFS, I'm going to check if this is an island. I'm going to call the DFS and to calculate the maximum area. So it is 1, and then I will recover this number 1 to 0, and then go to check this one. While I'm going to check this island, it is the square, the area is 4, and while I'm using the DFS, I'm also going to recover all those ones to 0. This means for the next loop, while I'm going to check this one, it has already been recovered to 0. This means I'm not going to use the DFS. So in this way, the time complexity is O m times n. Yeah, and yeah, let me first write the function first, and while I'm writing the function, I will explain each line of the code. So I'm going to prepare R and C, so will be the length of the grid and length of the grid 0. And let me prepare the result. So I'm going to use two for loops. So for R in range R, for let me check if I need to. I'm going to call the DFS directly for the return. Let me first prepare the DFS. So I'm going to define a DFS function, and inside it's gonna be RC, and I'm going to give a path first. And for my return, because I'm going to return the maximum of the result. So for each DFS, it's gonna be the area of the island. So I'm going to use a DFS RC. So for R in range R, for C in range C. So I just need to use one line to get my return. So this is just a DFS to check each grid. So this is a whole grid. I just needed to check each position inside of the grid. So for example, for here, while I'm checking this one, I'm gonna turn all those ones to 0. So this means when I turn to the next position, it's gonna be return a 0 directly. Now I just need to define this DFS function. So for the DFS function, I need to check if it is out of the boundary. So if R less than, if R less than 0 or C less than 0, or R equal to capital R or C equal to capital C, and let's check if all grid RC, if it is water, equal to 0. So means if it is water, what I'm gonna do, because I need to calculate the areas, so I need to return a number. So if I go out of the boundary, for example this one, I go top, it is out of boundary, what I gonna do, I gonna return a 0. And if it is go to the left side, the grid RC is a 0. So what I gonna do at this area, I also gonna return a 0, because with number from here, if it is 1 plus 0, it is still 1. 1 plus the top 0, it is still 1. So it will not influence my result. So this is why I gonna return a 0 if it didn't meet the condition. If it go out of the boundary, or if it is water, I gonna return a 0. Otherwise, I gonna turn this grid turn this position. From this position, I'm gonna turn the grid RC to 0 first, because from here, if it is a 0, I'm gonna return a 0. Yeah, if it is a 0. Otherwise, it must be 1, because it is inside of the boundary. It must be 1. What I'm gonna do if it is 1, I'm gonna first turn this grid RC to 0. Yeah, so this means for the DFS, I will not go back. And also for the next loop, I will not check this one again. For example, this one, I will recover all those to be 0. I will not check this one again because it has already been 0. I'm gonna return the 0 immediately. Yeah. Now I can return the result. So the result should be, yeah, 1 plus the 4 directions. Yeah, let's try to write the 4 directions. So it's gonna be r plus 1 c plus its directions. It's gonna be r minus 1 c plus dfs r c plus 1 and plus dfs r c minus 1. And finally, I need 2 plus 1. Yeah, so this means I'm gonna check the 4 directions, and this one means it is a 1, and then I'm going to plus all the 4 directions. Yeah, so for example, this DFS is gonna be return a 0. This one also gonna return a 0. This one also 0. So this means this area is 1. And for this one, finally, I'm gonna return a 4. Yeah. Now let me run it to check if it works. As you can see, it works. Now let me submit it to check if it can pass all the testing cases. Yeah, as you can see, it passed all the testing cases. And yeah, let's just wait for a few seconds to check the result. Yeah, if it is not working, so let me just submit again to check if it works. Yeah, as you can see, it works, but here is the time, but we cannot see the result. It is still okay. Thank you for watching. See you next time.